Yeah. Well, I would have a forest full of trees if I turned a new leaf every time I broke a promise that I thought I would keep. And I'ma harbor that in secret. It's hard to hear your feedback. I'm playing like the Phantom of the Opera on a keypad. Hopping off the deep end happily, ain't no wisdom in my teeth left. Just cavities, I've been trying to keep my feet wet. Walking over water, about to run a little farther. Doing an Our Father, but you probably atheist. I'm still speeding like Dennis Hopper. There's a bomb up on this bus, so where the fuck's Keanu Reeves at? You best to relax, I'm staying on my grind. Feeling Amy off this wine like I ain't going back to rehab. Feeling like a bipolar reject. I'm even high when I'm sober, and my mind's a solar eclipse. A born-again fetus who should have been aborted. Hopped about my mommy's chest like, what's up, I'm important. That was morbid, dog. And kinda sorta wrong, but nothing's off limits. I've been ripping down walls like Gorbachev. I do it for my dogs and do it for the cause, yeah. You do it for the blogs and do it for applause, yeah. You do it for the wrong reason, so I have to judge. The beat up on your song is decent, but your rapping sucks. That's why I can't endorse it. But still you're in the stores and people flock with open wallets to cop your garbage recordings. But I keep my hands in my pocket. That's ironic, like Alanis Morissette. I hate this game, but I can't just forfeit. Don't want the fame, but I'll take the fortune. The moolah, they say what you give to it, you end up attracting to ya. That's why I put my 2 cents in and got some change back. Guess it all makes sense in my brain, man. My bedroom feels too small for me, but the outside world's like doomsday, honey. I'll go Usain once you say run it. Lot of fish in the say, but 2 ain't nothing. My bedroom feels too small for me, but the outside world's like doomsday, honey. I'll go Usain once you say run it. Lot of fish in the say, but 2 ain't nothing. There's a rip tide coming, hold on. I think the sky's falling on us. There's a rip tide coming, hold on. I think the sky's falling on us, yeah. Falling on us, yeah. Falling, yeah. There's a rip tide coming, hold on. I think the sky's falling on us, yeah. Cloud 9 never seemed so far away. Guess there's only so much bullshit I can tolerate. Treat the booth like my pool pit, I'm trying to congregate. But my pursuit of artistry has led my heart astray. I try to stay up on a straight and narrow path, but every time I look, it's like sand from this hourglass is pouring outward. But I'm all about my paper like I'm Jim Halpert. The top is just a shot away, so baby, give me shelter. Yeah, I'm South Philly's own Lil Helper, the Wolf of Broad Street. They call me the young Jordan Belfort. My story developing Corey Feldman the way they can't stand by me, like I just brought him here to see a dead body. Yeah, and that body's mine, so I'm the one you hide behind, trying to find peace in the deep end of this violent mind. Praying for Vegas, bowling for Columbine. Download it for free and sold up on Spotify. Like here, yo, sell your soul up on the dotted line, or stay independent and sell not a dime, just try to grind. Yeah, cause what a time to be alive, ain't it? God would've got more followers if she was Vine famous. But me, I just live free to die painless. I'll be rolling up the heaven's gates late like, hi haters. God is major and I'm grateful for the pain you caused. If I wasn't, I wouldn't have sang you these songs. Like, my bedroom feels too small for me, but the outside world's like doomsday, honey. I'll go Usain once you say run it. Lot of fish in the say, but 2 ain't nothing. My bedroom feels too small for me, but the outside world's like doomsday, honey. I'll go Usain once you say.
What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to another live stream here. If you're new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. I will be checking out YM today. We are looking at the black sheep, YM, living in its own world. Coming over to trading YM, I'll talk a little bit about that today. But I'll break down what I was looking at this morning. A couple of test trades. We had a little bit of an outage on TopstepX today. Felt it was a good time to just play around with position sizing on minis versus micros on Dow. But if you like that song, that was Major Van Winkle. I was running a giveaway raffle style last week. I'm going to go ahead and just say that the one gentleman that donated is going to get the free 50K Top Step Combine. So congratulations. I'll shoot you an email after this. I tried to do that $1 for every dollar you spend donating to either Minding Your Mind or Hoops for Hyaston. Both awesome charities. I would give away TopstepX Combines, multiple. I had one person donate. So I'm going to go ahead and give that one person the Combine. They got a 50K Combine worth $50 for donating not $50, which is totally cool, man. I will go ahead and shoot that person an email after that. But that's that. What's up, Sean? Good afternoon, man. Going to throw the link to the free Discord where I'm live trading, sharing my analysis, sharing everything that goes into my trading, answering questions, all that fun stuff in the chat right now. Boom. You guys can find me there if you like what you see here. Pin that one. I am also partnered with Edgeful and Bookmap. I'll throw those links in there later. Actually, I'll throw them in there right now. This is Edgeful. Free trial to Edgeful. You can use that stuff for 7 days completely free. And Bookmap is a pretty gnarly discount. I use both those programs. Fair warning, I am an affiliate partner. I stand to make money, so I cannot be unbiased. But I use both of those in my trading, and I wouldn't partner with garbage companies. That's my MO. So let's go ahead and take a look at what we saw today. This was the 9:30 open on Dow. Throw this line on here so we can take a look. It's the 5-minute chart. Coming over to trading Dow for a handful of reasons. ES, first off, just really difficult, choppy, tough to work with structure, not presenting a whole lot of opportunities, but more so than that, because I would just ride that out, typically. System's not going to work all the time. You go change stuff, you go flip-flopping. It's not really going to help you out in the long run. More so than that, after doing a deep review of my trading, I noticed I've been trying to cater a lot to live trading, to working with guys, to be able to really increase the volume of trades, the frequency of trades, to be able to hop on at any time during the day and take trades. I've zoomed in a lot. I've made some adjustments to try to do that. And I'm not going to say it negatively impacts my trading results, but I have to answer the question, am I making decisions around my trading, around my approach, around my risk management that are all about positively impacting the P&L and finding an approach and strategy that fits with me personally? If the answer is no, you're doing this because it'll be better for live trading, or you're doing this because you want to be able to hop on at a random time during the day and find a trade, that's not the right answer. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure that I'm not doing that, and just show you guys the way that I trade whenever I can, by either reviewing trades, by trading live if an opportunity presents itself, but not by trying to force trades just for the sake of trading, or trade an instrument that everybody else likes, or a style that's easy to explain, or even less discretionary, right? Because it'd be great if I could say, hey, here's the levels I use, they're objective, this is exactly how I trade off of them, and you can do the exact same thing if you just follow steps 1, 2, 3. I've always talked about really not being able to do that. That's not the way that it works. So coming to Dow, I've got more experience on Dow. Initially trading as a CFD in the nightmare Forex market, and coming over futures, trading Dow first. So back on Dow, man. Me checking it out this week. Nothing permanent, but experimenting with another U.S. indice, right? Not a huge change. Taking a look at NASDAQ as well. And I will still be watching ES. I'll still potentially be trading ES. But for right now, my main focus is going to be back on the black sheep, the one that's always in its own world, doing its own thing. I like the way Dow moves. I've gotten accustomed to it, again, early on in my career. And it's been fun to do a lot of testing on it over the weekend, back testing over the weekend. Watching it today was really fun. Same approach, same style, same tools that I'm using. Everything going into my trading the same, just custom tailored to the way that Dow moves, which is much more, in my opinion, zone to zone. It's kind of quiet, and then when it does move, it moves a lot. My entries are more aggressive, fading the short-term trend in favor of the long-term trend. I like to try to get in at the zones, counter to where price is moving on the 5-minute. Trade it on a little bit higher time frame because price action can just be pretty violent all over the place. On really, really low time frames. So 5-minute seems to work pretty well. Again, if I'm looking at NASDAQ, I'm probably on the 5-minute as well. You can zoom in, watch the 100 tick, watch the 1-minute. It just can be a little bit fast. On ES, maybe it's a little bit slower, and I like the 1-minute, the 100 tick. Just a preference thing. Again, I'm going to be making some adjustments coming up. I'll see what I like, what I don't like. If I want to change anything, you guys will see it happen in real time. So looking at Dow, looking at YM this week. Here were 2 trades that this one I actually took and got out of. TopStep had some issues this morning. Again, love this platform, love TopStep. I will talk to you openly about when I see stuff. It was down right at the open for me. This was all black. They alerted it really quick, said they were working on it, and it probably only lasted about 15 to 20 minutes, I'll say. I kind of trailed off working on a couple different things with the gentleman I was working with this morning. But by the time it came back on, I'm not looking to jump into XFAs and take, big trades, maybe that we see some kind of, technical difficulties. So these were in Combine. This was in this Combine. I jumped in and out of a couple trades here and on the micro contract, wanted to get comfortable for what this risk management looks like, what sizing looks like in Dow. The mini is a $5 contract, $5 per tick contract. And as you can see, there's no quarter of a point. 1 point is 1 tick, whereas 1 tick in ES or even NASDAQ is going to be a quarter of a point. Also, just the volatility, just trying to get a feel for that as well, get comfortable with it. This way I could just focus on taking my entries. But this one was off of this discretionary level right here. These are in line with, prior day highs and lows, but pretty obvious level right here. Tested multiple times, support and resistance. We pulled down directly to this level. I looked to jump in here on the 5-minute right as we started to hesitate, push back up a little bit on this 5-minute candle. Stop loss down below. I think what you'll see for me on Dow is a little bit wider stop loss, again, on a little bit higher time frame, targeting a little bit larger move. It's pretty violent movements, somewhat like NASDAQ, but a little bit different feel. That would have played really, really nicely all the way back to the VWAP line. This one up here, I didn't take. I was measuring out as it was coming up here. The thought process was if it cracks this, I'll get rid of that line. If it cracks this high right here, which was the 930 open, I'd be looking short. This one was very counter trend, the buy coming up here back to VWAP. This one I would say is more in line with the trend from pre-market and overnight, but fading the move to the upside that we might come back down to VWAP. This one, nice risk to reward. This one closer to that 1-to-1. Another reason I wasn't so inclined with this one, I would just be above these highs over here. The way that Dow moves, it's very wicky, likes to come back up above highs and lows and kind of push price all over the place. And I don't know that I was looking to hold this thing for a huge sell-off, probably just back down to VWAP. And that was the trade here. Both these would have played really, really nicely. A little bit of drawdown on both of them, right? They would have made it to halfway to the stop, past halfway to the stop on this one. So, not like they moved directly in favor of the trade, but both would have been wins. These are hindsight trades. Again, jumped into this one, jumped out very quickly, was scaling in and out, testing on the micro and mini contract today. So neither of these are on the book, right? You see this here, $34 in a combine. But I'm going to get some aggressive trading in. I know I say this sometimes. On the combines this week. This one is resetting on Friday. It's like $500 in profit. So you've either got to grow or blow it, for lack of a better analogy there. Now this is just choppy. That's what I'm seeing here, right? Big sell-off at the open. Support found right back up, cracked above the highs, right back down to VWAP. A little bit of support found there. Maybe looked like we were going to bounce to the upside, and we didn't. Chopping around VWAP, classic VWAP chop. I believe ES is looking fairly similar. Make sure this is a clear chart. Yep, ES looking fairly similar. Here is our 930 open. Bullish at the open, pull back down, looking pretty bullish overall, following decent structure, right? If you're trading on the 5-minute, I think the 1-minute will look a little bit tough. Let me zoom out so VWAP gets back to where it's supposed to be. Yeah, it could be a little bit tough trading this today. You might be looking at this to the downside, getting below VWAP here, finding some support. Maybe you jump in somewhere down here, and you're looking to get short. You don't really follow through. For me, I think this would be pretty tough. If I was trading this, my trade probably would have been an L up here. Stop loss just down below these lows, right? If we're coming up, getting back above VWAP, cracking above this high, looking like we're breaking out of this area consolidation, stop loss just below, looking for that move to continue the upside. Not really getting that. Stop out likely would have been there, even if you had a stop way down below that wick. I think on the 5-minute, that would probably look decent. Yeah, all the way down below here. That would have been a tough one to survive. Maybe you're waiting for another retest of VWAP, but this gives you some indication to get long up here, not shorting, at least in my mind. So pretty choppy. If we look at NQ, NASDAQ had an opportunity to the short side, which the gentleman that I was working with this morning did caught a break even on it. Came back and stopped him. But this looks okay to get short on, right? Push to the upside, crack VWAP with some force. Maybe we are getting short. Let me fix this VWAP line. Maybe you're getting short over here on the way down, which is where the gentleman that I'm working with, I believe, took this one. Break to the upside failing, putting a bunch of highs in, selling off aggressively, finding some support a little bit right around VWAP, but then failing, continuing lower. This looked good to the downside, back up to chop around. No real, NASDAQ looking even worse than ES. No real clean structure to the upside, to the downside. This is pretty range bound, right? If we're going to look at this somewhat objectively, that's the session. Do we have really, really clear direction? You could say now we've got a little bit of an uptrend forming here, but we're still not above the highs. We didn't get down below the lows. We're really just back and forth across VWAP here. So not a whole lot of opportunity across these guys. Some stuff early in the morning with these moves. Maybe you were able to jump in on some of that. Outside of that, not a whole ton, man. So I don't have a massive setup coming up. We have Jerome Powell speaking, but I wanted to hop on here, give you guys a little update on my trading, looking at Dow, getting some testing in. Some trading, I shouldn't really say testing because I'm going to be live trading it. We'll see how that goes for me, man. Yeah, this, I really don't have a setup, On Dow, again, I'm going to be more inclined to wait until we're at or approaching a zone. That's really how I like these trades to set up. I like to take much lower risk, cheaper trades, stops above or below highs, kind of at the extremes, if it's at all possible. This right now is pretty directionless. There's not a whole lot for me to work off of. Even if I zoom out a whole bunch, you can kind of see what this looks like on the 30. Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. So, you guys got questions? Feel free, ask them in the chat. Otherwise, I'm going to be hanging out with you on here. We'll watch what the market does as Jerome Powell starts speaking. I can show you where I find that financial news. You say, hey, Zach, how do you know somebody's speaking and that might increase volatility in the market, even if you're not going to predict which way the market's going to go? I'll show you how, man. I go to forexfactory.com. You can go to a whole bunch of other news sites. You can go to Financial Juice. You can go to my FX book. Those are just a couple of them. There's plenty more. TopstepX actually has some news built in. This is the site that I like to look at. Very simple. Gives you gives you yellow folder, low impact, orange folder, medium impact, red folder, high impact. The time, this is an EST that's about to come out. You can click on the folder, it opens it up, gives you description, what it is, who it is, why it is, names of it, history of it going on. If it's a data release, you get forecast, the previous. You can go back in time and look at how these affected the market. This is about the amount of fundamental work that I do. Paying attention to financial news events, anticipating that they will likely increase volatility, not try to predict the market will go up when Jay Powell is speaking, it's going to go down. Just be aware of it and probably decide, like today at 2 o'clock, to not be in a trade if I can. Market likes to hang on every word that this guy says, and it moves price all over the place. Looking out for the rest of the week, looks like tomorrow. Yeah, I was saying this earlier. I thought we had a little bit clearer of a week. Tomorrow will be tough. 10 a.m. red folder and orange folder. Clears up after that, although we have plenty of FOMC members speaking. Wednesday, somewhat clear. This is before NYSE open, and this is after at 10:30, but orange folder. I'm not so worried about crude oil inventory. Thursday will be tough. 8:30 red folder, 9:45 orange folder, 10 a.m. red folder, and then NFP on Friday. This is at 8:30 before the open, but this is a major market mover, if you're not aware. NFP right there with the FOMC rate is one of the big ones. One of the big ones. Same with unemployment here. So we'll see what this looks like. Again, probably want to pay attention to financial news events, even if you're not going to try to predict them or use them to trade specifically, you want to know when they are. You want to say, hey, 2 p.m. today, we got red folder news event. It's very likely that what happens right around 2 p.m., especially if it's a data release, I'm likely to see a lot of volatility. The candles that are going to print right at that time, probably going to be a whole lot bigger than what was printing beforehand. And maybe I don't want to be in a nice trade with a tight stop loss going into that news event. Totally up to you, but if you don't want to check any of those sites, I post that news every single day in my free Discord. You guys can check that out. What's up, Juan? How are we doing, my man? How are we doing? Thanks for hopping back on. Thanks to all you guys for being here. I appreciate you hopping on, checking out some potential on Dow. Again, man, not a whole lot that I'm seeing. I'll check ES again. Like I talked about at the beginning of this, not just going to hop into trades just to take them. This is pretty directionless. You know, I don't have anything. Don't really have anything setting up. You know, that's just going to be it. Same again. Looking at ES. Similar deal. Somewhat bullish on the 5-minute. Maybe we pull back down to VWAP and continue this to the upside. But I really think the market is mostly going to be anticipating Powell speaking. That's what I'm looking at. I think this is more likely going to just be consolidation, small movements ahead of the 2 p.m. Eastern. Jay Powell yapping. That's what I like to say. Yeah, he is the market mover himself. But we'll chill out for a little bit, see if something starts moving. Got to be around, right? You got to be sitting at the desk. You don't have to be trading. Cash is a position, but if you want to be here to catch the opportunity on low time frames, you got to be hanging out watching the market. But again, guys, if you got questions, feel free, ask in the chat. Be happy to talk to you about a whole bunch of different stuff. If not, I got a couple of topics I'm going to show you and yap about that. Yeah, we got some movement here before we're getting above higher lows. So, no questions. Feel free, again, ask in the chat. I will show you Edgeful. Been talking about Edgeful a lot. Very useful in a situation like this, right? I've gotten really comfortable on ES. Maybe I want to change to another US indice, something that's fairly similar, but a little bit different structure. I think, hey, you know what? I got to get comfortable with how this thing moves. I wonder what it looks like on some of these Edgeful reports. I want to hear the stats around NYSE over the last year of time. What happens around certain levels? What happens around certain times of the day? How does this thing typically move? Here's the couple reports I use to get a good feel of that right off the bat. These are my favorite reports. Initial balance breakout. What this is measuring is shown right here. Initial balance is the 1 hour, 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Eastern. It's the open. It's the range that's set. And if we break to the upside, how often do we come back down and break to the downside? Or vice versa? You can see, based on this graph right here, over the last year of data, and you can increase it if you want. You can run 2 years of data. Over the last 2 years of data, which I think is, you know, a pretty big sample size, 70% of the time, just over 70% of the time, YM only breaks one side of the 1 hour opening range, the initial balance. Only 25% of the time does it come back down and break the downside if it breaks the upside first, or the upside if it breaks the downside first. You can look at it specific by weekday. It gets really interesting. There's certain days that are really strong. Like, I think even over the last year of data, this was way heavier. Yeah, dude. On Friday, like, look at how strong this stat is. On Friday, over the last year of data, YM has only broken one side of the 1 hour opening range, 84.31% of the time. Only 13.75% of the time does it break both sides of the opening range. You know, again, on Wednesday, typically weaker day across all U.S. indices, seems to be a big back and forth day Wednesday. Really interesting. Again, helpful to just form a bias, start to understand how that instrument might move. That's one. Another interesting one you could look at that kind of lines up with this is opening candle continuation. Again, what is this report? analyzes the color of the first candle, if it's green or red, and tracks how often the entire day closes green or red based on that opening candle. Groups all green and red opening candles separately and measures the continuation throughout the day. YM, over the last year of data, if it opens on a green candle, it ends as a green day, about 78% of the time flat. On a red candle, you can see the opposite stat right here. Likes to continue in the direction or at least end as a green day after that 1 hour opening candle. It's another interesting one that I like to look at. Power hour breakout, right? If I'm trading power hour, like I will be tomorrow on TopStep TV, you guys can check me out live there. Be trading with the big dogs again. Over the last year of data, this is a really interesting one, right? It's 3 o'clock to 4 p.m. That is 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. That is power hour, the last hour of New York Stock Exchange session. How often is YM going to make a new low of day within that hour or a new high of day? Maybe we're trading near the extremes of the session, right? It's a trend day. Should I be targeting a new high of day within that last hour or a new low of day? The answer is no. Look at how strong these are, man, over the last year. 25% of the time, a new low of day is made. And only 14% of the time, new high of day is made. Only 14% of the time, a new low of day is made. Interesting, man. You get breakdowns, explanations of this stuff, day-by-day breakdown, charts. If you click on the price chart for one of the specific days you want to see what it looks like, it brings you up a TradingView chart. A video that's going to explain it even better than I'm explaining it. But really, really cool stuff from Edgeful. I find this stuff very, very useful. It's what I would be spending a lot of time back testing, and it just, it gives it to you in a nice, beautiful handout. This is one that I was using on ES that I don't think I will be trading as much or really at all on YM because the stat is not nearly as strong. On ES, the 15-minute opening range, the range that's set from 9:30 to 9:45, more often than not, by a pretty strong stat, is broken. On YM, it's not nearly as strong. There's plenty of days where it breaks just the upside, just the downside, and doesn't break both sides. So I don't know that I'm going to be taking those 15-minute opening range trades. I'll likely be, waiting for support resistance zone, another level, and then looking from there. Again, initial balance even stronger than on ES. Gap fill is a pretty interesting one. I believe YM is pretty strong here. I checked this out as well. Yep. Let's see, does it get stronger or weaker if we decrease or increase data? Yeah, even stronger over the last 6 months. 2 years, I think we flatten out even a little bit more. Oh, I clicked it too many times. There we go. Yeah, 2 years is a lot of time to look at, though, so that's fine. This is measuring, the gap fill report on Edgeful is measuring the first day's closing price and the second day's opening price. So what does price close at on Monday for NYSE session close? And then what is the open at 9:30 a.m.? If we gap up, how often does price come back down to close that gap? If we gap down, how often does price come back up to close that gap? You can see those numbers right here. More often than not, over the course of all of the gaps, they're getting filled. Interesting way to break this report down. Again, there's plenty of different qualifiers and things you can change up here to really customize the report. The one that I found very interesting is by size. The smaller the gap, this is pretty obvious, but the smaller the gap, the more likely it is to be filled. If you look at a huge gap, if there's a massive gap up or a massive gap down, I'm probably not creating a bias around that. I'm not trading towards that gap fill. You could see how much it decreases based on the percent size of that gap. Small ones, they're getting filled, man, especially real small stuff. It's almost always trading back across that to fill that gap. So again, Edgeful, 7-day free trial. You can check this out. Tons of different instruments. You can check across any session you like. You can create a custom session. You can customize all these reports to talk about specific times, to show you different things. Each one has a ton of different ways to view the report. And again, really detailed explanations of what it looks like, showing you what happens, what it measures, how you can use it in your report, detailed report breakdowns so you can get individual days, along with the price charts from TradingView and the video. One more thing I'll talk about on here. They give you a TradingView indicator for almost every one of these. Let's look at it as an example. Let's go to a fresh chart. No drawings, right? I will throw this in regular trading hours, so only showing NYSE session trading hours. And I will pull up the gap fill indicator. This is what I was just looking at on Edgeful. It actually places an indicator on your chart to show you exactly what that report is measuring. This is on YM, but I'm on ES here. This would be a gap up, right, from Thursday. Here's the closing price. Here's the opening price. It throws that gap in, here's the closing price. Yeah, 4 p.m. It throws that gap in a shaded blue. I think it shades it red for a gap down. Gives you a line, shows you the candle that actually closes the gap, and you can see, hey, does that come down and fill, or does it turn before that? You got a fill right here. You got a fill right here. Small gap that's filled, right here. You'll have sessions where it doesn't fill. Let's find one. There you go, right there. Gap did not fill. Here's your closing price. Here's your opening price. Small gap up, did not fill. Super easy, intuitive to use stuff, man. Again, maybe you say that's too much information. I don't want to mess with another platform, and I don't need any reports. I just want to back test. That's totally cool. I think, man, for the cost, which is free, to try this stuff out for 7 days, it's a no-brainer. Easily can mess with the instrument that you're playing with, that you're trading. Take a look. Maybe you find stuff that is eye-opening. Maybe you just confirm, stats that you're utilizing in your own trading. So that is Edgeful. Again, link in the bio, link in the chat. I am a partner with Edgeful. Find that stuff helpful. Chopping around here near VWAP. Still chopping around near VWAP. Looking on Bookmap to see if there's anything crazy. Watching the Dow Bookmap, which is a little bit different than ES. A little bit interesting to read this one. I'm going to have to get comfortable on that as well. Seems like they got a lot of that liquidity that follows above and below price. Makes it a little bit more difficult to read. But I'll have to be watching to see what looks like real liquidity on the book that pops up. Not spoofing or this algorithmic liquidity provider crap. But I'll keep you guys updated on that. Bookmap, link in the description, link in the chat as well. Badass discounts on Bookmap. If you're using liquidity in your trading, you want to pay attention to order flow. Bookmap has been awesome this year. It's really been an awesome thing to add to my trading. Outside of that, keep it pretty simple, man. Borderline single color candlesticks, a couple lines, couple zones, subjective, discretionary on my chart. That works pretty well for me. Ooh, look at that. Absorption YMC for C-bot buyers at 42,533. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it's a cool feature that I added on Bookmap. It's probably going to get a little bit much since price is moving. There are a whole bunch of different things you can add to this. This is Bookmap. Favorite order flow tool. Gives you liquidity, an order book displayed in a heat map. Live market liquidity, the order book, different volume profiles, volume tools down here. But the main thing I'm looking at is this heat map. What I found to be really helpful, again, I've been checking out some of these add-ons, sweeps indicator, absorption indicator, and large trade alerts. It does what you just heard, right? If there's a lot of volume, this is the baseline of it. If there's a lot of volume traded in a short amount of time, it starts yelling at you, starts alerting you about that. You can set different limits, different amounts, so it alerts you more frequently or less frequently. You can put it on automatic, and then there's a standard deviation multiplier. You can kind of increase or decrease till a point that makes sense, where it's not yelling at you all the time, but if something like that happens, it starts barking at you. Again, in the simple dumb guy way that I utilize some of this stuff, I find that very helpful. Talked about it on the last live. I don't mind talking about it today. We're sitting at the desk for hours. You get distracted, you're checking your phone, you're checking something. You might not realize you got a lot of volume coming into the market, right? Unless you're setting alerts all over the chart, which is another way to do it. This tells you right away if you have a lot of volume being traded in a very short amount of time relative to everything else that's going on. It can be pretty helpful. It's helped me a handful of times just in the last week that I've been using it. As soon as I hear Bookmap start talking, I immediately take a look at the chart and there's movement going on, So helpful that way for sure, especially if you're trading volume, momentum, you're utilizing some of that movement in your trading. I think that stuff can be pretty helpful. But Bookmap is sweet. It gives you a live look at where liquidity is in the market. I think it's spoken about. Liquidity is spoken about by a lot of different camps. I won't name any, but I think we know who I'm talking about. Groups of traders. And, they don't use order flow. They don't use volume. They're just using traditional candlestick charts. And they seem to be guessing where liquidity is. That it's above or below a certain price, that it's at a swing high or a swing low. And you might be able to guess with some accuracy where it is, but that's what you're doing. You're guessing. With order flow, you can see live resting liquidity on the book. They also have add-ons to be able to track things like icebergs, to track stops. It's executed stops. But, it's helpful. Again, maybe that's something where you say, hey, Zach, I don't want to use that at all. I'm just going to trade price action or support and resistance, or I'm going to use, MA crossovers, or you got something that works for you, volume profile. That's totally cool. Different things for different people. I'm going to show you guys what works for me. That stuff looks complicated. Edgeful can look complicated. It's not at all. Edgeful is a reporting, software program that gives you these stats that you can apply to your trading. It's not something that I'm watching all day. It's something that I, look at in the morning, take a look, see how things are being updated, get a reminder for where I might be looking for different biases throughout the day on the specific instrument that I'm trading. Bookmap I run on the side. That's the only other monitor really that I'm paying attention to. Full screen Bookmap view, watching order flow, and then my simple candlestick chart, man. Almost nothing on it. I really have tried to narrow this down. In the morning, I mark this up with my objective levels. After that, I've really just been throwing on discretionary levels around there and keeping it super clean. One VWAP line, not a ton of labels. If anything, I'll probably do analysis in the morning for you guys so I can show you what I'm looking at, interesting levels that I'm paying attention to, and then hide stuff from my chart or just clean it up, delete it off. Pay attention to what matters most. Structure, price action, volume, be able to trade that momentum, trade that movement. And man, horizontal levels. Support and resistance, supply and demand, order block, whatever you want to call them. Areas of interest. That's what we're going to go with. So again, guys, I am just hanging, checking out Dow, seeing if we get something. Down around the middle of this area, really don't have anything, man. Not a whole lot. I'm just not interested to trade off of VWAP when we've broken above and broken below and come back down to it. These are my two nice opportunities. Really off the extremes. This one pretty counter trend to what I was looking at coming down. This one with the trend, continuing that move back down to the downside after wicking back up above these highs. Both of them are fading the short-term trend, the immediate movement. And that's more of the way that you'll see me trade on Dow. Larger back and forth wicky movements. Not going to wait for a whole lot of confirmation. Going to fade the short-term trend in the direction of the long-term trend. You've heard Tom Hogard. You've heard Dr. David Paul, rest in peace, coined that phrase a lot, and I think it's an awesome phrase. Trade with the trend and fade the short-term trend in the favor of the long-term trend, for whatever that means. If you're trading on the higher time frames, that's going to mean something different. If you're trading on the lower time frames, it's going to mean something different. But as far as the individual trend that we're talking about, but overall, it means the same thing. And I think it can be powerful to think about. Hey, bro, how's your trading going? Good, man. Good. Choppy markets, back and forth overall. Surviving in surviving in XFAs. Still holding on to the same original 5. Still have 50K on backup, ready to go. Still have these combines here. Not a whole lot of opportunity on ES, at least for me. Nothing major. It's been back and forth choppy, so no massive growth the way that I would like. If anything, I just would have liked to have traded less over the last couple weeks. The stuff that was displaying as an opportunity really didn't present a lot to the upside. So good trading overall, but I think that similar feeling that a lot of guys are feeling now. Just choppy back and forth expansion coming out of September. So excited to see what Q4 has in store for us. Last day of the month right now, coming into October. I'm psyched. Election year. Hopefully we get some volatility. We get some movement. I don't really care if it's up or down. I would just like it not to be sideways. If it is sideways, maybe something that presents some opportunity in between just straight up barcoding chop. So, again, you can't blame the market. You're responsible for your own trading. It's your job to tailor a system that provides a way to make money. But September, not a stellar month to write home about market structure and price action wise, in my humble opinion. Again, maybe you trade a completely different way and it's been the best month of the year for you. And if it was, I give you credit. And I wonder how you do the rest of the year. No, but that's just how it works. So yeah, trading's been good, man. I love it every day. It's a challenge. I'm here live yapping away to you guys. Hyped to be on Top Step again. Coming up tomorrow. We'll see what we get. But yeah, excited about the prospect of trading Dow, man. I really am. And getting a little bit back to the roots. Okay. We got volume being traded. Let's go ahead and I'm going to mute these coming up if I hang out until Jerome Powell starts speaking, because it'll probably get a little bit hectic until it adjusts. We'll leave it on for now. Yeah, barcoding back and forth in the 5-minute. Not a whole lot. Bouncing around VWAP. That's what I got. Again, since I am going to be taking a look at ES as well as NQ. Choppy, man. Zoom out, get VWAP back in line. Choppy, rangy session, right? Highs of the session right there. Lows of the session right there, right? We didn't come down and do anything crazy. Not a whole lot of direction, right? This is what this is looking like to me. Whoa. Sideways, right? No clean trend, not a breakup above, continuation to the upside, not a continuation to the downside. Just classic VWAP chop. Again, maybe you had some opportunity to the downside in between here, getting short as you were breaking down in the continuation of that trend. Maybe you're trading the extremes. You are looking for this range. You've got a zone, marked off of this high over here, this high over here. You were getting short as we came up. Maybe you were looking for support down at this area right down here. If that was you, great job. I think I actually did mark up some of a, let me take this off. I think I did mark up some of a NASDAQ chart. Yeah. Can get rid of that indicator. The edgeful indicator. Yeah, I had lows coming off of here, this area down here, and then this area that was tested multiple times, support and resistance. So nothing crazy. We did react off of this area. Pretty basic resistance area. But overall chop. Not a whole lot to work with there. But we'll leave Dow up. Let's see what we got. But if you guys got trading questions, man, feel free. Ask away. Whole bunch of you on here. Feel free to hit like. If you find me hopping on here live, showing you my trading, talking about trading, answering any questions, giving you the ins and outs of how I approach the markets helpful, feel free. Hit like. You don't have to do anything, though. Free means free. I we'll talk about something else that I was chatting with the gentleman that I work with one-on-one. And it's based from Mark Douglas. I think Mark Douglas did an excellent job. He's also passed, but he did an excellent job in Trading in the Zone, and another good one from him, the earlier one, The Disciplined Trader, of it really explaining what separates the winners, the consistent winners, from everyone else. And he makes the case that I agree with, the argument, that it's not some superior ability to read price action. It's not some special tool, or that they're so much smarter than everybody else. It's that they think differently. The way they think about their trading is different than the 90% that's losing. And I think it can be demonstrated really clearly in the paradox of probabilities that we deal with within trading. And what I mean by that is the outcome of the next trade that I put on here with you guys, even if I do everything right and I'm operating with a 65% win rate, let's say, for example, that outcome, the next outcome and the next one after that are very random, very unpredictable. The outcome over a large sample size of trades, the win rate and the risk to reward is statistically consistent and able to be demonstrated over the next 50 trades or 100 trades. It's a very, very difficult paradox to wrap your mind around. And I believe the guys that are making money consistently and that have been in the game long enough have done everything they can through back testing, having confidence in their system, and really watching this stuff play out over and over and over again, and journaling and getting in tune with their emotions, done everything they can to understand and fully accept that paradox. When they put that next trade on, they know they did everything that they can. They have their risk structure, they have their reasons behind it, but they fully recognize any number of things can happen with that. You are not in control of everybody that's involved with the market. You have no idea exactly how that next trade is going to play out. And they accept that win, that loss, without it having this massive impact on their psychology and their emotions by getting too excited or too upset. And they move on to the next trade, holding on to the clear-headed, objective goal of reading price action, reading market structure, and executing their system. It's demonstrated in the elementary way that we always talk about it, a coin flip. I pulled out a quarter, so I was talking to the guy that I was working with, literally pulled out a quarter and was flipping a quarter. Over 1,000 coin flips, right? 1,000 flips of a quarter. And this seems like stupid to talk about, but it really demonstrates what we're doing here. It really does. And most guys, even though they think they accept it, and I think even some guys that make money, on and off, they turn a profit, they don't really think in this way of probabilities. They don't understand this paradox. You flip a quarter 1,000 times, you're going to end up pretty damn close to 50-50, right? You flip a quarter 5 times, you have no idea if you're going to land on heads or tails 5 times in a row. And I encourage you, grab a coin when you're hanging out and flip that thing and watch how many times consecutive heads or consecutive tails pull up over a short number of trades. Watch how short number of flips. Watch how skewed the numbers are on a 50-50 outcome with positive variance or negative variance over just 5 flips. And again, I think it demonstrates the need to think in probabilities, that your job is to just flip the coin. Your job is to execute your system, your risk management, wait for your trade criteria, put the trade on. If you manage your trade discretionarily, manage it to the best of your abilities. But that next coin flip, you don't know what the outcome is going to be. So don't stake your claim on it. Don't over leverage on one individual trade. Don't get too jacked up on wins or too upset about 1 or 2 losses. And understand that you're trading for a large sample size of trades. Keep things consistent to the best of your abilities over a large sample size of trades. Again, I think if you haven't read Trading the Zone, you're living under a rock, and you should go read Trading the Zone like now. Understand that book. Listen to it. I've gone multiple rounds on it. I'm literally listening to it again. I listen to books while I work out, while I'm cycling. And I listen to that one more than anything else because I think he does such a great job of really explaining it and giving examples of how that is the determining factor. That is what's separating the guys that are able to trade and take losses calmly, take wins calmly, and just focus on doing what they're supposed to do in the market. It's an important piece, man. And it takes a while to get to. And again, it's not like, just like everything else, it's not like flipping a page. You don't just wake up and you go, oh, I understand it now. So I'm never stressed when I'm in a win. I'm in a trade that's taking too long. I'm never stressed when I take, two losses. But you recognize those emotions, you recognize those feelings, and you recognize that they don't make any sense for what you're doing. And you're able to start to bring yourself back to equilibrium and just pay attention to what you're supposed to do for whatever your system is, right? Because it's going to be different for everybody. But that piece, man, again, you need an edge in the market, right? You need to be able to read technical analysis. You need to be able to read charts to a degree, utilize tools to find high probability setups, to be able to structure risk. All of that is crucial. It's the foundation. It's not terribly difficult. That's not the hardest part. One of the hardest pieces is to understand that game of probabilities, the business that we're operating in here, that the outcome of the next trade is very, very, very random. And the outcome of the next 100 trades, applying a strategy and risk management consistently, is not random. It's not random. Really difficult to wrap your mind around, to continually accept and hold as a belief, but really powerful once you start to work towards that, man. Really, really powerful. Takes away the pain of losses, takes away the euphoria of wins, makes trading much more boring, and really allows you to stay objective, to stay present, and execute. Just execute. Do what you're supposed to do. So grab a quarter or whatever coin you're at, whatever part of the world you're in, and flip that thing a couple times. Remind yourself, would you bet all of the money on a couple coin flips, that you have? No. You might bet that it would be pretty close to 50-50 over the next 100 coin flips, but you're not going to bet that it's 50-50 over the next 10. That's the thought process here, man. Make a little bit more when you're right, win a little bit more than you lose, number of trade-wise, and let those stats work out in the long run. Have to let things work out over a large sample size of trades. That's the key piece, man. Back test, that can help with confidence to be able to make it through those strings of losses and strings of wins and the back and forth that can come. Trade live, gain your experience, and journal. That's the key, man. Watching Dow selling off a little bit here, man. Let me know what you think about that, man. Feel free. You guys are quiet today, but feel free. Share your thoughts. You could say, no, man, I don't think so. I don't think you need to do that. I don't think you need trading psychology at all. You just need a badass edge, and that'll work. We're allowed to have different opinions. But, back that shit up. Stand on business. Yeah, not a whole lot, man. Choppy. Appreciate all the info today. Do you have any promos for TopStep Combines? I was giving away TopStep Combines myself, and if you follow along in Discord, I will continue to do that. But I'm probably going to do it a different way. Probably going to do something on here live with you guys where I do like the bell-to-bell thing where I have a form that you have to fill out, and maybe I give out some like that. I did it as a raffle style for charity, and almost nobody donated. One person gave money, and that person gets the combine. So no, the answer is I don't have codes for TopStep Combines. Nobody has codes for Nobody has codes for TopStep Combines. They're not doing any promo stuff. None of their affiliates have codes. They stopped doing it months ago. So that's that. But hop in the community, and I'll be giving some more away. I said that this morning. The one person that donated won the giveaway, the raffle giveaway that I was doing. No pressure, James. No pressure. Nothing on book, Matt. Yeah, man. Just kind of choppy markets coming into Jerome Powell. I don't see anything that I want to get involved in on Dow here. I really don't. This structure was interesting this morning. Choppy back and forth, but provided an opportunity for a couple trades. Working in on that. Either one of these could have just absolutely continued to the downside or to the upside. Today, these would have played just to kind of build off this. If we did continue this move and we pulled something like this, I'd be looking short down here for sure. And same thing. If we continue this move to the upside, maybe we bounced right here, I'd be looking long up here. But similar to the way that I trade across the opening range on ES, I'm going to look to do that on Dow. Probably even a little bit more late into the session because Dow just does pull these really, really big moves. And it's the way that I work with it. But still, simple. Price action, market structure. Horizontal levels. VWAP. The simple stuff. Rusty says, I still have my 5 for 450. Will have them till I pass them all. Hell yeah, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I got a bunch. I think some of these still might be the $19 combines. I bought a ton of those $19 combines, and it probably worked a little bit in Top Step's favor because I just bought so many of them that, however many I was allowed to buy, you end up spending money with them. But a $19 50K compared to the normal $50, I could buy, I could let 3 of them reset, and trade 3 of them essentially for the cost of 1. So, when they do have codes, man, when they have promos, I would say jump on it, take advantage. The stuff that they promo and that stays that price until you pass it, or it rebuilds at that price rather, that's the big win, man. It's awesome outside of the free resets that they were doing. But again, I don't know when they're going to bring that stuff back. I don't know if they're going to bring that stuff back. They were doing so much of it, and they talked about it a lot on the live. Everybody was just clogging up the chat, yelling at them about it. Support, they said, was overwhelmed. There'd be 1,000 messages about the free reset or whatever it is, and that stuff's just, it gets to be too much. Now they're taking on so much more volume of calls and problems when they're trying to just give stuff away. So, we'll see. We'll see if it comes back. I'm sure they'll do something at a certain point, but they haven't done anything for a while as far as resets and bell to bell and fire drill, all that stuff that they were doing. So we'll see. Support down here again. Yeah, man, this is just really back and forth. Again, guys, I'm not going to jump into anything here. I just don't see it. Up around one of these extremes, maybe. If we had some direction for the day, maybe. But across U.S. indices, I'm not seeing anything for the afternoon. You could YOLO a trade right now and jump in before Jerome Powell starts speaking. I definitely wouldn't recommend that, although I don't recommend anything because I'm not a financial advisor. Good time for the disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say or do here or anywhere else is financial advice. It's not a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. I'm just an idiot on YouTube trading and showing you what works for me for entertainment purposes only. Make sure you read the full disclaimer in the description and on my site, realdealfutures.com. So, guys, on that note, couple good conversations, couple good discussions. Hey, what do you put in your beard? I need some of that ASAP. Yeah, man. I think I'm just gonna refrain. Shoot me a message in Discord. Hop in the free Discord, and I'll answer that question. I try to have a policy of not answering too much personal stuff, but I can give you some info on beard care products, completely untrading related. But I won't waste everybody else's time. I'm gonna wrap this one up here, guys. Good conversation. I think that last piece about understanding probabilities and trading psychology is really important. Really important. If you do nothing else this week, go get yourself a copy of Trading the Zone. Read that book, listen to it on audiobook, whatever you have to do, and then journal. Journal after you trade. Think about the way that you think about trading. That's what I would go for. Don't worry about learning more about the market, about your entry, about the next new indicator. Try to dig into your psychology. Try to dig into your mindset, the way that you're thinking about your trading. It can be hard to wrap your mind around that and understand really how it's going to translate to a more positive P&L, but that is one of the biggest pieces that separates the winners from the losers. So that's what I'll leave you guys with. Sitting in a boring short, absolutely, and got you. Yeah, man. Be cautious. Again, guys, 2 p.m. Eastern, we got your own pal speaking. I'll wrap it up there. I'll be live the rest of the week. 3 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, I'm on Top Step TV. I'm on Power Hour for the end of NYSE session. Feel free to hop on. Support me in there, guys. Throw something in the chat. Usually it's just comments about me looking like Jesus and my beard. That's mostly what I get. But feel free. Let me know. I'll shout you out if I see something. I'm going to try to run the chat on the side, so I'll say what's up. Talk to you guys soon. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate you all being here. I'm grateful for all of you. And I'll see you the rest of the week live here and on Top Step TV.